The movie begins in Los Angeles in the year 1928. A female wakes up in her bed. It is Christine. She walks over to another room and wakes up her son. They then ride in a trolley to school. And then, after she drops her son off, Christine takes it further to her work. She is shown riding around in a call center on roller skates. She comes over to help another employee and is revealed to be a supervisor there. In the next scene, Christine is picking up her son from school. They speak about why his father left them, because he was scared of the responsibility that raising a child would bring. Christine is a single mother. Later, Christine tells her son that she will take him to movies tomorrow. But on the next day, she gets a phone call that she has to come to work. She tells her son that they will go to the movies the next day. He is upset over this, but his mother tries to comfort him. She is then shown to occupy the call center. She checks the time, and it is slightly later than the time she was promised to work until. When she finally leaves work, a boss of hers comes out with her to tell her about a promotion. She is in a hurry to leave, so she tries to end the conversation as quickly and smoothly as she can. And because of this interruption, she misses her trolley to go home and will have to now wait even longer to get there. When she comes home, she starts looking for her son. She yells his name several times, but there is no response. Christine then checks the fridge and sees that the food she made has not been touched by him. She calls out to him some more and checks the whole house, but he is nowhere to be found. Night comes, and Christine walks the local neighborhood, but she still cannot find him. Eventually, she returns home and calls the police. She cries as she reports a missing child to them, but they tell her that they don't send units to search if a child has only been missing within 24 hours. Shocked by this policy, Christine cries some more for her son. Then in the morning, the police now arrive and make this case with her official. 2 weeks then go by, and we see a church full of people. A reverend speaks to the people about the disappearance of Christine's son. In doing so, he also acknowledges the lousy work of the police department. The office of a very likely police worker is then shown and how he hears this speech on his radio. After a while, he feels repulsed and switches it off. In the next scene, the month has changed from March to April. Christine is shown to walk her empty house and then sitting on her son's bed. She holds his stuffed bear in her arms and misses him. Then she goes to work, different now by being depleted of her previous energy. We then see her sitting in a room, calling about any updated information concerning her missing son. Her boss sees this and just walks by. Then April changes to July. A diner is shown with a man sitting and eating with a little boy. The owner tells him how much he should pay, and the man says that he left his wallet at home. The owner threatens him with a phone call to the police if he does not pay, but the man says that he will retrieve his wallet in 10 minutes. He also says that he will leave his son as collateral. The owner repeats 10 minutes, and then repeats the threat of calling the police. The man leaves the diner, but then almost 2 hours go by and he does not return. The owner calls the police, and the boy is shown to still be sitting there. The scene switches back to Christine at her workplace. She sees the police arrive, and then they come to her. They then give her the outstanding news that they found her son, and that he is alive and well. Christine is overcome with joy, and some of her coworkers congratulate her. She then rides in a car with one of the police by her side. They go to meet the policeman in charge, and he asks her a few questions. She makes a remark about the 24-hour policy from earlier as being unhelpful, but the policeman brushes it off as a technicality. As they continue to speak, the train arrives that is supposed to hold her son. She cannot keep the conversation going and leaves impatiently to get to him. When she gets there, the train soon stops and a lady gets off with a little boy. But something is not right to Christine. That is not her son. She sees this right away. The man she rode in with tells her that a lot of changes happened in all these months, and that is what she is seeing, changes. He urges her to take him home for a trial, to have them both remember each other, and to have him remember his room and his house. The man continues to persuade her that he is her son, and even has him recite who he is and where he lives. Christine then says that maybe she is not thinking clearly. When she says this, the press breaks in and starts asking her questions. She gives the answers that she could give, but it is clear that she does not have peace of mind. Finally, a photo gets taken of them together, and Christine looks nothing short of uneasy. They then ride away together in a car. She is shown to be not behaving like a mother that just got reunited with her son. She is neither speaking with him nor hugging him. They then eat at home, and the situation is really uncomfortable for her. Christine then sends the boy into the bathtub, and that is where she discovers that he is circumcised. Her son is not. She then takes him to the measuring area where she measured her son, and this boy's height is revealed to be inches shorter than her son's. That is when she loses it and begins to question him. She almost yells when she asks him who he is. In the following scene, Christine is at the police station. She goes to see the captain that brought her to her supposed son. She tells him that the boy they gave her does not belong to her, but the captain disagrees with her. She tells him that this boy is circumcised and that her son is not, but he continues with her and says that who knows what the people who kept him captive could have done to him. He does not want to budge. He then ends up telling her that she is running away from the truth, that the boy's identity has been confirmed by experts. Christine then apologizes that she went off on him, and tells him that a mistake has been made by them, and that it needs to be corrected before it is too late. When she leaves his office, the captain calls on the phone for a doctor. Later, at Christine's house, a doctor arrives. He comes in and inspects the boy, and even tells her that there is some resemblance between her and him. But she then tells him that the boy is not her son. She shows the doctor the height measuring, and he says that even a diminishing in height could be possible during captivity. But she finally tells him that she is the mother, and that she, of all people, should know. The doctor continues with his reasoning and says that she rebels to the changes. When he leaves, Christine calls the captain and tells him that he should be looking for her real son, and that he is wasting time. After that call, her given boy says goodnight mother to her, and she loses it and yells that she is not that, and that she wants her son back. In the morning, Christine gets a call from the Reverend. He is Reverend Gustav. He asks her if she would like to meet in person, and she agrees. When they meet, they speak about her case. Gustav tells her that the LAPD refuses to go along with Christine's rejection of the boy because they do not want to admit they made a mistake. He then speaks of the chief of police and how he has allowed for the development of police corruption. Later, Christine takes her fake son to the dentist. He tells her that his teeth are different. He tells her that changes could take place, but his difference would require a serious operation. She asks him if he could put his words on paper, and he says that he could, and he does. In another scene, at school, the boy can't remember the teacher's name. He says that he remembers her, but not her name. He then goes to sit down, but does not sit at his assigned seat. The teacher then tells Christine that he is not her son, and would testify if she has to. Christine then rides home in a car with Gustav. When she gets out, she is greeted by the press. She stands there and tells them the truth, that the boy is not her son. She says that she has given the LAPD a chance to admit their mistake, but now she is coming out like this, with evidence to fight them. The captain from earlier gets news of this and tells another officer to bring Christine to him. The next scene shows Christine riding in a car with the LAPD. She gets out and gets taken to go see the captain. While they both are alone in his office, he yells at her for trying to make them look foolish. He tells her how she probably liked her freedom, and now that she lost it, she made up these lies. He then tells her that she is either lying or crazy. Christine continues to say that the LAPD made a mistake, and she said it in front of someone in charge of a psychiatric hospital. Due to that, she gets restrained and then admitted to a mental hospital. In the next scene, she arrives at the hospital. She is shown naked in a room, with a nurse spraying water on her. After that, she is then taken to her room there. In there with her, there is another female. She is not happy that she has to share the room now. When Christine is settled in there, that lady keeps repeating that it is her room. The scene changes to show a desert. A man drives his car next to someone doing some work on his own. The man that pulled up asks the other for some directions. He gives it to him, and then that man is shown to arrive there. He walks into that area, where he sees a hatchet in a stump, and then some young boy comes out and starts running away from him. The man follows him until the boy runs into a house and closes the door behind him. The man then says that he is the police and that he has a warrant. No one answers him, so he breaks in. He then walks around, looking for something, until he gets to a room, and that boy comes out and jumps on him. But it doesn't take long for the policeman to get him off and put him on the floor. He then handcuffs him and puts him in the car. Reverend Gustav is then shown. He asks one of his personnel where Christine is because she was supposed to be there. He tells him to search for her, and then he gets on the radio and begins to speak. He says that his guest is not here and that he will do his best to fill in for her and say what she wanted to say. We then see a short scene where an odd man orders a ticket to Canada. It is the same one that gave directions to the policeman in the desert. Back at the hospital, Christine goes to eat breakfast. At the breakfast table, she meets Carol. Carol tells her about how she should try to behave there. She should try to be normal because that is her only chance. Carol also says how the two of them are in there because of the police. The boy from earlier is then shown to sit in a room with other kids of similar age. He then has visions of a man bringing down a hatchet and blood covering him. He then asks an official if he could speak with the officer that brought him there. In the hospital, Christine goes into the doctor's office. He asks her questions and she answers them. She is trying her best to be normal, making statements that crazy people would not normally make. But then he asks her about her fake son, and shows her the photo of him and her near the train. She says that that is not her son. Then he presses her and tells her that the police are not out to get her. She states that she agrees, which then makes him accuse her of trying to change her story. The boy then speaks with the policeman, Detective Lester. He tells him that he was a prisoner, but Lester does not believe him, saying that he looked free to him. But the boy said that if he tried to leave, then the man who held him captive would kill him. He then said that he made him kill a lot of kids, possibly 20 or more. The scene then changes to show the kid with the man, and it is the odd man that was buying a ticket to Canada. It shows them both sitting in a car while the man lures a little boy into the vehicle. He tells him lies in order to do so. It then shows he has several young boys kept in a chicken coop, and then it shows how the man kills one of them with a hatchet. The scene returns to the boy speaking with Lester. He keeps crying and regretting the horrible crime he was forced to take part in. Lester then gives him a handful of photographs of missing children. He tells the boy to place the photos of the kids he knows he has seen in a certain pile. The boy places many of them there, more than half. Lester then picks up one of the photos and sees that it is Christine's son. He realizes that the LAPD might have made a mistake. He then phones the captain and tells him so. But the captain pushes such a possibility away. While the captain is on the phone, One of his staff comes in and says that Reverend Gustav is there in the department. But before he comes to see him, he tells Lester to bring that kid into him and speak to no one else. He also sees a protest outside of his window. When goes to Gustav, the Reverend asks him what happened to Christine. The captain says that she suffered a mental breakdown and is now getting the best care. Gustav does not seem to believe it. In the hospital, Christine refuses to take the medication that she is ordered to take. She then is taken to the doctor, who tells her if she signs the paper that states she has been reunited with her actual son, then she can be set free. But she does not want to sign it, and so the doctor orders for her to be removed from his office. She fights the staff in the hallway, and Carol tries to help, but in doing so, she gets taken to a room where they perform electric shock therapy on her. At a later time, Christine visits her to check how she is. We then see Lester arrive at the site of the supposed crime. He hands the boy a shovel and tells him to dig and show him the lifeless kids. At first, he hesitates, but then he gets to it. As he does it, a shoe gets revealed, and then bones. Lester then takes the shovel from him, and the boy falls down and cries. At the hospital, the doctor comes to Christine and tells her that she is not complying well with their policies. She then throws some coarse language at him, and he orders for her to be taken to another room. When she is getting strapped down to a bed there, Gustav comes into the hospital and asks for the person in charge. The doctor tells him that he is, and Gustav shows him the paper that speaks of Christine's case and urges him to read it. We see that Christine is about to have shock therapy used on her, but then a nurse enters and orders that it not be done. Christine is then released from the hospital. Gustav saved her, as she is then shown walking the street. He meets her there and grabs her as she is about to fall. The following scene shows the captain in his chief's office. He tells the captain about the problem of the wrong boy being returned, and he also says that it does not matter if the mother ever gets him or not. He just wants the case to end. He believes that the boy is probably dead, and if he is, then it would be better to discover that and tell it to the public than to have a lingering problem. After that, Lester is shown questioning Christine's fake son. The boy will not reveal the truth, so Lester threatens him with jail. At first, he does not believe that he will send him there, but then he gets scared and starts confessing. September is then shown. The killer, Gordon, is shown arriving at his sister's house. She lets him in and he goes upstairs to shower. When he does, another man appears and tells his sister to go outside while he calls the police. We then see Gustav and a friend of his arrived at Christine's house. She invites them in and they speak of the case. The friend of Gustav is then revealed to be a highly credited lawyer who states he will fight for Christine, who then is shown to be very grateful. They then go to the psychiatric hospital, and the lawyer orders that all females be removed by order of the court. In the next scene, we see Gordon being arrested and walking with the police. They walk through the press, and the press throws questions at him. He answers them in a smarmy way. Then he gets asked about the children he killed, and he answers with no comment. At the chief of police's office, the mayor then enters and tells him that the lawyer Han has acquired custody of Christine. He also says that taking the blame for the captain's mistake is not quite good enough, and that the captain will have to be taken out of the picture for a while. As Christine, Gustav, and Han walk the streets, protests shaming the LAPD are seen to cover the streets. Then we see a courtroom in October. The judge asks if there are any police present in court, and none are revealed, so he orders that court sessions not start until they are present. At another time in court, Gordon appears. He sees Christine, and she sees him, and he compliments her on how she stood up to the police. The judge then asks him how does he plea, and he says he is not guilty. Another courtroom scene has the captain testifying. Han asks him why he thought it necessary to throw Christine in a mental hospital, but the captain does not give a satisfactory answer and so he gets shamed. Han then says that he threw her in there without a warrant, and that the reckless actions of the LAPD allowed Christine's son to be killed. Then Christine's fake son gets identified. He walks with the chief of police and gets reunited with his real mother. And before he gets on the train, he also slightly shames the police. Court then continues, but not much yet gets resolved. Christine, at her home, is visited by Gustav, and she tells him that she does not think her son is dead, but he tells her to move on before he leaves. In court, progress gets made by the permanent suspension of the captain of the LAPD. Gordon is judged guilty of murder in the first degree, and the chief of police is also removed from his position. Gordon cries out in court and refuses to accept his judgment. The judge then tells him that he will be sent to a mental hospital for 2 years, and after that, he will be executed by being hanged. The time is now September 1930. Christine is at her job, and she still goes to that room to call about her son. When she has finished making the call, Han comes in and tells her that Gordon wants to see her in person. He tells her that it is concerning her son, so Christine travels quite a distance, and then visits him in a room. Gordon tells her that he did not think she would come. He has a hard time telling her about what happened to her son, and keeps saying how he does not want to lie and does not want to go to hell. But she comes up to him and presses him to tell her. He tells her that he doesn't know, and she grabs onto him and keeps physically pushing him while continuously demanding that he tell her. After that, the guards take him away. The next scene has him walking in front of a crowd of people that gathered to witness his execution. He walks up the stairs, with 2 guards by his side. He suffers as he ascends, and when he gets to the top, his head gets covered and the rope gets fastened around his neck. In a few more seconds, the wooden floor door opens from beneath him and he plunges to his writhing death. The time is February 1935. Christine is in her office. Her coworkers go home, but she stays there for a while. Then she gets a phone call from a female that was with her at the hanging of Gordon. The lady tells her that a boy has been found. Christine gets there and sees him in a questioning room speaking to Lester. He mentions the names of some of the boys that were there in the coop, and one of them was Christine's son. He then says that some of the kids escaped. He and Christine's son were two of them. While they were running away at night, they were shot at by Gordon, but he never did get any of them. That boy in the questioning room then gets reunited with his parents. Christine cries as she sees this. In the final scene, she leaves the building with Lester. She is somewhat relieved due to this occurrence. She tells him that it gives her hope, and then she walks away into the city.